Hello students, today we are going to discuss about the digestion of carbohydrate. Digestion of carbohydrates. As we know that the carbohydrates are the biomolecules, these are the biomolecules which we obtain or get from wheat, rice, sugarcane, milk, potatoes. These carbohydrates we obtained in form of starch, lactose and sucrose mainly. As we know that the digestion mainly occurs digestive organs in which digestion occur are buccal cavity, stomach and small intestine. These are the three organs of the alimentary canal in which mainly digestion occurs. The digestion starts from the buccal cavity and final digestion finished in the small intestine. Digestion of carbohydrates occurs in buccal cavity and small intestine. It starts in buccal cavity and complete digestion occurs in small intestine. Now we study the digestion of carbohydrate in buccal cavity. In buccal cavity, salivary gland is present which secrete salivary juice, or you can say saliva. It is alkaline in nature. Its pH is about 8. And this salivary juice have an enzyme known as salivary amylase enzyme, or you can say ptyalin enzyme. In buccal cavity, 30% of starch. In buccal cavity, 30% of starch is digested by salivary amylase enzyme. You can say starch in this salivary amylase enzyme acts and it acts in alkaline pH and converts into maltose plus isomaltose. The digestion of carbohydrate or starch occur up to maltose in buccal cavity. Next, the digestive organ is stomach. Food from the buccal cavity comes in the stomach with their amylase enzyme, but this enzyme cannot act in stomach because stomach is acidic. pH in stomach pH is acidic and amylase enzyme requires the alkaline pH for their action, and there is no digestive enzyme for carbohydrate like amylase enzyme in stomach, because in gastric juice, which is secreted by gastric gland in stomach, only protein digesting enzymes are mainly present. So the stomach, no digestion of carbohydrate occur. No digestion of a carbohydrate in stomach. No digestion of starch in stomach. Next, the third one and last digestive organ is small intestine. Small intestine. The final digestion of carbohydrate, about 70% of starch, mainly gets digested in small intestine. Small intestine is the main digestive organ in which complete digestion of each food particle occurs in small intestine, main digestive organ. It mainly contains the juices coming from pancreas and small intestine or coming from liver. लीवर एंड स्मॉल इंटेस्टाइन पैनक्रियास से जो जूस सीक्रेट होता है, डाइजेस्टिव जूस होते हैं, वो सारे एक्ट करते हैं स्मॉल इंटेस्टाइन में. ऑल दीज प्रेजेंट इन स्मॉल इंटेस्टाइन. First juice is bile juice. It is secreted by gallbladder which is present in the liver, or you can say liver is the main source of the bile juice. It is alkaline in nature and it acts the emulsification of a fat. Emulsification of a fat. It have no role in digestion of carbohydrate. In digestion of a carbohydrate. Second juice which is secreted and present in the small intestine is pancreatic juice, and this juice is secreted by pancreas gland. Secreted by pancreas gland. This juice is also alkaline in nature. And about 70% of starch is digested by this pancreatic juice, which have an enzyme pancreatic amylase. This pancreatic amylase in small intestine acts on the starch, and 70% of starch gets breakdown. The starch acts pancreatic amylase enzyme, and it breaks down the starch into maltose plus isomaltose. Now the carbohydrate molecules which is present in the small intestine are sucrose, maltose, galactose, and lactose. These are the carbohydrate biomolecules which are present in the intestine, and in these carbohydrate molecules intestinal juice acts, which have the following digestive enzymes. Intestinal juice contains the following enzymes like maltase, sucrase, lactase, and these enzymes present in the intestinal juice, which acts on the following molecules in carbohydrate molecules in alkaline medium. First, maltose. On maltose enzyme, maltase enzyme act which break down maltose into glucose plus glucose, and finally the starch is converted into glucose, because in buccal cavity starch converted into the maltose, then maltose gets finally converted into glucose. Now the second is sucrose, which is a sugar or carbohydrate coming from the sugarcane, and in this sucrase enzyme act and it converts it into fructose plus glucose, and fructose is an isomer of the glucose, so it finally converts into the glucose. In this way, final breakdown of sucrose occurs into the glucose. And third one is, and this sucrose converted into fructose and glucose, and fructose is the isomer of glucose, so it finally converted into glucose. And last, lactose, which is coming from the milk. It is milk sugar. In this lactase enzyme acts which convert it glucose plus galactose, and galactose acts as a isomer of glucose which finally converted into glucose. In this way final digestion of carbohydrate occur in small intestine, and finally the all carbohydrate molecules get digested and converted into the glucose, and this glucose is now present in small intestine, acts as a digested food particles and absorbed by the blood capillaries which are present in the villi, and acts as a respiratory substrate to obtain the energy. Today we only discuss about the digestion of carbohydrate. In next video we will discuss about the next biomolecule like protein, about their digestion. Tab tak bye and thanks everyone.